Open your mouth. Spread your legs. Clear. Let's go.
What else? Your boy Pistol Pete. Welcome back to Dog in the Yard. Today we got Kevin, Renny Smith in the building, family and friends, wrongly convicted. Renny did 27 years in jail for a life sentence he had. He's here today. And with that being said, let's get right to it. Your boy Pistol Pete, Dog in the Yard. What up, people? What's up? It's your boy Pistol Pete. Welcome back to Dog in the Yard. And today we got Renny in the building from Brooklyn. What's up, my brother? Right?
Yes, got it right, brother.
I got it right, Renny. What's happening, man? How you been, brother?
I'm blessed, man. You know, God woke me up, gave me another day to get right today.
Thank God for that, man.
But I couldn't get right yesterday, so, you know, I'm blessed.
That's right. We blessed. Every day we get up, we blessed.
That's right.
You know? A little bit about yourself, man, for those people that don't know Renny, man. I want to just break down your upbringing, where you from. I know you from Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy.
Bed-Stuy.
In the building. Shout out to Papoose. Yeah. You know, your upbringing, you know, siblings and what led you to the incarceration.
Well, I grew up in a household without a father.
Okay.
One single parent, my mother, 8 kids. I was one of 8 kids, 4 boys, 4 girls. We didn't have a lot of things, you know, growing up, you know, in the 60s. I was born in the 60s, practically raised in the 70s. So, you know, there were some things that I did that I thought, you know, I wanted to help out my mother in the household because I seen her struggling at a young age. So I went out in the street. I used to do little hustles, shine shoes, you know, pack bags, wash cars and all that, just try to, you know, help out, would bring all the money home to my mother and give it to her. But, you know, it came a point in my life, you know, when I just wanted things, you know, to be better and more, and I just started straying away gradually, you know, from my moral teachings and, you know, Christian values. And, you know, I went out in that street and I adopted a lifestyle that was totally different from the one that my mother taught me at home. And, you know, I started, you know, jumping on turnstiles, jumping the train, and, you know, that escalated to me going inside stores and stealing things out, and it just continued to escalate and escalate.
The more you get away with it, the more you grow.
And, you know, when I look back, I mean, when I was in prison, I could pinpoint the first time that I really think I got away with something. And, you know, the sad thing about it is I told myself I could get away with it. When looking back, I wish I would have got caught because I probably wouldn't have resulted to that lifestyle. But that's what happened to a lot of us. We get away with it and we put in our minds that we could do this stuff and we continue on our lifestyle, and then it escalate. You know, and then one day I looked up and, you know, I was in prison serving a life sentence. You know, because, you know, when a child leaves a home without the blessing and the guidance of a parent, they end up on an empty pursuit, and that's what happened to me. Right, I was in and out of Rikers Island as an adolescent.
What's your first time on Rikers Island?
I was 16 in 1977.
How was that? How was the
island? I mean, it was hell. I was scared, you know. I'm sitting here telling you I was scared. I was frightful 16-year-old kid. Prior to me going to Rikers Island, the older guys in my neighborhood would prepare me and other young guys. Right. Yo, don't drop the soap. Don't let nobody take your sneakers and all this stuff. So, you know, I'm psyched out. When I got arrested and I knew I was going to Rikers Island, I'm in the bullpen doing push-ups.
Yeah, you're more or less trying to get ready for it.
Yeah, I'm trying to get ready for it. You know, like it was a rite of practice for me and everything. But I'm frightful. I'm a skinny 16-year-old kid. You know what I'm saying? The only good thing about it, I knew a lot of people in there from my neighborhood.
And you was in jail for what?
For a robbery. A robbery at the time, a little petty robbery because I'm 16 years old. Okay. You know, the robbery probably ain't mounted to $1,000 or something like that. I'm doing petty crimes. And like I say, you know, and then I just continue on in that lifestyle and
came home
and, you know, I'd be in the bullpen praying, God, if you let me out, I'll never come back. But I'm only lying to myself.
We don't all pray that prayer, right?
Yeah,
we all pray that prayer before.
Right, so I'm lying to myself.
Absolutely.
I get out, I continue on in that negative, reckless, and selfish lifestyle, continue going around harming and hurting people.
What was your mom's doing, was saying at that point? Are you one of the oldest siblings?
I'm third to be born. You know, I lost one of my brothers, but I had one left, but there was 2 older brothers in me at the time. My older brother, he was in the streets like I was. I'm not blaming him for me going to the streets. Because we make our own choices and decisions. But I went in the streets also. But my mother, I just gave her hell.
Yeah, she
I
couldn't
gave her
really do
hell.
much.
Nah, she couldn't do much. She tried to steer me on the right way and everything.
I can relate to that because I was
Yeah.
the same way. My mom's tried her best, man.
Yeah, they all
But,
do.
you know, we're
But
gonna
it's
do
hard.
we're gonna do what we're gonna do.
That's right.
And whatever we think was right at that point.
Right. What we think is right anyway.
Facts.
Right.
What we think is right, you're
What we
right.
think is right.
So go ahead.
So, as I said, I just continue on, and then in 1985, I was arrested for a homicide, and I was shocked. And when I was arrested, I was kept back to the police officer. I said, "You sure you got the right person?" They said, "Yeah." They spelled my name out. They were joking with me, spelled my whole Kevin Renny Smith out. "Yeah, that's you. We got the right person." Because I know I ain't never hurt and harmed and killed no one, right? So I'm arrested at this time, and my family and them and friends of mine, I had some money at the time because I was hustling. I got a lawyer. So I'm thinking because I got a private lawyer, everything going to be all right for me.
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, I'm good.
You
Yeah.
leave it up to him.
Right.
He got me. He got it.
Right.
I'm going to just take care of him.
Right. So I'm back on Rankin's
Know that
Island, no
attitude.
bail.
Yeah.
I'm running around, and just relying on my lawyer. And then 22 months comes up, right? And trial time started. So now I come to court, and my lawyer says, "No, my mother's pointing at me, let me know that the jury is out there for me to pick it." But I don't know what she's trying to tell me. She looked a little frightful because they had offered me 15 to life for this case. But I refused to take it. I said, "I'm not taking nothing I ain't do." So we picked the jury. We go on through trial and everything. The next day I come to court. My lawyer said, "You going home?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, you going home?" I said, "Why?" He said, "The witness said it wasn't you." So these not the words I said at this time, but I was like, wow, the system is starting to work, come together.
Yeah.
So I go before the judge, and he releases me on my own recognizance. But unbeknownst to me, when he releases me, I didn't know at the time that the witness went in the chambers and said it wasn't me, right? So when he releases me, the prosecutor who's trying my case, he locks the witness up and takes him to the precinct and holds him in the precinct for 4 to 5 days and tells him, "Listen, if you don't testify against Renny, we're going to get this homicide to you. If you don't testify against Renny, when Renny get out of jail, he's going to kill you." He's telling them all these things, right? But I don't know it at the time. So it's 22 months. I get out. I'm happy.
How old are you?
I'm 64 right now, but I know I don't look it.
No, I'm talking about, no, you don't look it.
Yeah.
You fucking look good, shit.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about at that point, at that age, at that time.
That was in 1987, so I believe I'm 26 years old at that time.
Okay.
So I get out after 22 months. I'm happy, right? So my lawyer told me to come out to court on Tuesday to get the case dismissed because Monday was Labor Day, right? So I didn't know none of this as I know it now. I come out to court Tuesday. I stay in court all day, and the court judge come in. He said, "Listen, the trial will start tomorrow," which was Wednesday. I come out to court Wednesday. They have a mini Wade hearing. I didn't know what that was at that time. And the guy...
You had no knowledge of it?
No, I ain't had no knowledge of the law at the time. The guy gets on the stand, and he says that he knew me for 6 months prior to the homicide, right? So the DA recommends that I get remanded, but the judge and my lawyer, they didn't go for it. So I'm going to court every day from the streets with this homicide. I don't think the jury going to find me guilty. I don't know it until the guy get on the stand. He said, "The only reason why I'm testifying against Renny because the DA told me if I don't, they would give me 7 years in prison for perjury." The jury is hearing all this. So I'm sitting there, right? So I said, wow, all this is coming to me. My lawyer never shared that with me at the time. So no other evidence linked me to this crime but the sole witness. And he tells the jury, he said, why he's testifying against me. The trial is ended. I'm in the hallway with my sister and the lady I was with at the time. We in the hallway. And my sister come running and said, "Yo, Renny, they reached a verdict." I come back in the courtroom, and I was also going to trial with somebody else at the time, right? And they tell him to rise up first. The jury finds him guilty, right?
He was in the
ask him-
case.
Yeah, him. Yeah, I had a co-defendant. Yep.
Yeah.
So they tell me to rise up also. After him, they find me guilty. That was the darkest day of my life, man. To this point, I couldn't believe it.
That's a fucking
I couldn't
I'm
believe
lucky
it.
you ain't catch a mental breakdown.
So,
I mean, for them telling you you're gonna be dismissed next week to
from me getting found guilty.
that's what I'm saying.
So, I mean, I was like, wow. I was, so I got cold chills when I went back in the bullpen.
Of course.
I'm not my normal self. I messed up, right? And I go on back. They snatch me back in, take me back in, remand me back into the system. And they sentence me to 25 years of life, right? Although the judge used to see me at lunchtime in the street with my mother, everything. He knew he the one let me go. But he still sentenced me to 25 years of life. There was no evidence linking me to the crime. But I learned yesterday the system is designed like that, to lock us into it and keep us in there as long as they can. And he was in a position to do that, and he did it to me, right? So, I went upstate, 25 years of life, and, I got that mindset.
First time.
Yeah, first time. That's my first felony conviction.
Went downstate.
Right. Yeah, went downstate.
How was that how was that?
Downstate
How was your tell us the whole experience, downstate after 20
It's
25.
something, it's ironic that you said that because I'm in downstate, locked in the cell 23 hours a day, and it comes to me while I'm laying in the cell. There was a police officer who came to my court. As soon as I was found guilty, he yelled my name out, and he said, Renny. But it didn't come to me till I was laying in the cell, and it dawned on me who that police officer was. And I remember him. I said, wow, that was the dude in the suit. And I guess he was trying to be funny. The fact that I was being found guilty, he was trying to be funny, right? So I said, wow, I want to go to the gate and yell and all that, right? But, it was hard. I had to make a total adjustment to come into prison, you know what I'm saying? So, it was rough, it's hard, and me going to the law library, I knew that was the most important thing for me to do, but I couldn't just run right in there. I knew that I had to first, understand my surroundings and everything and where I was at.
Yeah.
Because this ain't like Rikers Island, this ain't like New York City while I'm in the streets. So I had to make the necessary adjustments, and once I did all that, then I just started.
Yeah, it's not easy to go just
walking
in.
No.
Walking in. All right, here go, 25 years.
No.
Go in there for 23 hours in your bathroom.
No.
Fucking most of the brothers hang themselves, kill themselves, go on the pills,
Right.
come out of there picking up cigarette butts.
Right.
Because their mental is fucked their mental
Yeah,
status.
right. Your mental is messed up, and so I just made the necessary adjustments, and then I just went
Thank
on.
God
into
you
my
was
prison.
able to-
Right. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying, and I just. But the only thing about it though, I came to prison with that same mindset that I had in the streets. So I went in prison. I started hanging out, doing all them things. I would go to every law library every now and then.
Yeah, you was playing around in the yard a little bit.
Yeah. I went to sleep.
Yeah.
I was numbed.
Yeah.
So I remember this old timer telling me one time, he said, Renny, man, prison could be likened to a womb, right? I didn't understand what he mean. He said, but, if you don't change the way you think and behave, that womb could turn into a tomb. So I didn't understand what he mean till years later on. He was telling me, Renny, man, you got to educate yourself, man. You got to leave prison in a better condition than when you came in. Because if you don't, you're going to be stuck in prison, whether it's physically or mentally.
Yeah.
And it came to me years later what he meant, but I didn't see it then.
It took you a couple years.
A lot of years. It was 17 years of my incarceration.
That's a fact.
17 years of my incarceration is when I moved to turn my life around. I'll never forget it. I remember I went down the phone that night, and the sister I was with at the time, she told me my son had killed somebody. You know what I did? I went back to my cell, or to the cell, not my cell. You know how it is. I put the sheet up because I didn't want nobody to see me praying. I'm getting ready to pray. That's a sign of weakness in prison. Yeah. And I got on my knees, brother, and I prayed to God. I said, God, I don't know when the last time I've been before you, but please don't let my son fall as hard as I did, right? I said I would do anything if you just honor this request. And, God just started sending people to me, man, to help me,
Get your shit right.
Yeah, get me right, man. And
not just get your son right, but you need to be right so you can get your son right. Just because you need to be there for your son, for your seed.
Right, and he just started sending people on my way, in my path, and helping me.
Look at that,
and steering me in the direction. I was in Shawanga at the time, and next thing you know, I'm going to therapeutic classes. And when I went in the first therapeutic classes, I always tell people this story. Everybody that was in that room, they moved to one side of the room. They thought I came in there to harm somebody. That's how I was so deep in that mud of ignorance and self-destruction.
The energy came in.
That everybody thought, but they didn't realize then I came in there to get what they had. But I had to prove to them that I wanted what they had.
Of course.
So it took some time, and they seen that I was sincere about changing my life around and everything. And I just started going from there, and next thing you know, that they start telling, yo, Renny, man, you're very assertive. We're going to provide you with the necessary skills, the tools, education, right? We want you to be the chairman of the the vice chairman of the long-term life was in Shawanga. I said, man, I don't want to be no lifetime. I ain't ready for that. They said, yes, you are, Renny. And older brothers prepped me up for that position.
Absolutely, yeah. You need to have some responsibility.
Yeah, and next thing I know,
let's get right.
I'm writing letters. I'm doing all this stuff. You know, my grammar's not up to par at the time, right?
Yeah.
But I'm writing letters to radio stations. You know, I'm doing presentations. They sharpen me up and everything. But I'm feeling confident about myself.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good about
You're
myself.
still coming out your shell.
Yeah. You know, I'm changing. I'm evolving into something new, you know? So my friend Powerful, you may know the brother Cowboy. His name used to be Cowboy. His name is Powerful now. But he's like my mentor. He the one who got me out the yard, man. I remember when he came to Shawanga, the night I made the phone call I was just telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
And all that was God looking back because God brought him there that day and the phone call on my son. And then the next day he just started telling me.
Everything fell in place.
And he told me, he said, Renny, what would you want to do? What would you do if you leave prison? Because I said, yo, I want to go home. I couldn't answer him. You know why? Because I couldn't lie to him. He was someone I respect.
Right.
So I got quiet and he sensed it. He said, Renny, I'm not telling you that to shoot you down. I'm only telling you that because you get a break to get out. He said, you got to leave prison in better condition when you came in.
Mm-hmm.
He told me to leave by three guiding principles. Get out of prison as fast as you can, right? Leave prison in better condition than when you came in, and once out, never came back.
Mm-hmm.
And I adapted that to my life.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
And he tried telling me what it means when you get out of prison, you know, fast you can. When if you're in a mess hall, somebody bump into you, you tell them you're sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wait for them to tell them. Don't wait for you. You understand? Because it's all about getting out.
Yeah, it's
Don't lose sight of that.
It's just you learn to just get humble.
You gotta humble yourself, right?
Humble yourself, yeah.
Because a lot of us in prison, we got masks
We
on.
got that mask on. You
Right.
know, we run around with this.
Yeah, we have
shell.
masks.
We angry about other shit.
Yeah, and we take it out on each other.
Yeah.
I used to tell people, brother, if my mother could see a mirror of my life, you know what she would have said? That's not my child.
Yeah.
Because she didn't raise me to be the way I turned out.
Yeah.
And I'll be the first one to tell you that.
Yeah.
But prison turned me into an animal. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to, you know, we call it the concrete jungle, right?
Yeah,
so I
absolutely.
had to change and to adapt, like I spoke about, only to survive, right? Sadly to say. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I do the work that I
We
do.
felt the need.
Yeah.
We felt that the only way to survive in prison is just being you and just being crazy.
Right.
You know, and with the shits.
Right. Living by reckless prison codes and street codes. That mess our life
the
up.
yard and all the other boy involved in all kind of other shit. I know that, man. I can relate to that.
Right.
And you get lost.
Yeah, and that's what happened to me. That's why it took me 17 years.
Yeah, you get
out
lost.
of 27 years.
Yeah.
For that IHOP moment to go off of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it took me a long time. I was lost.
Thank God you came off that. You got off that. You know what I mean? That
God
path.
is good. You
Yeah.
know, God is good. When I got on my knees and asked him for help, is when he provided me with the help. Had I did it earlier, he probably would have provided me with the help earlier.
Earlier, of course.
Right. Yeah. So it was on me. Yeah, it was on me. I remember that, you know. I remember that.
So after 17 years, you started getting on your focus, going law library, handling your business for real.
I used to go to the law library in and out.
Yeah, in and out, but you was playing with it.
Yeah, I was playing with it because if I didn't get the results that I needed, it would frustrate me.
And you'll fall back for a couple months.
I fall back, until something else come up. And, I mean.
I know how that should be.
I remember.
Know the feeling.
I was in Shawanga again, and I got some news, some evidence about my case, and it was this Asian guy. He's from South Korea. And when I was telling him about it, he literally was trying to kick me in my ass. He said, Renny, man, you jackass dummy, why you wait so long? Why you wait so long to do stuff like this, get stuff like this, when I couldn't say nothing. He was right.
Yeah.
I was asleep. I came to prison, I got caught up. I'm in prison with something I ain't do.
Yeah.
When you look at me, you couldn't tell. You couldn't tell.
You couldn't tell.
Yeah, you couldn't tell.
You know,
no,
so
you
crazy.
couldn't
I was in
tell.
jail for something I wouldn't do either. And when I was in jail, you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
I was sitting on the table in Lewisburg Penitentiary, and all the brothers in there got 10 life sentences, 4 life sentences, and they asking me, PM, what's time you got? They thinking I got a whole rack of time.
Yeah.
No, I ain't had I was there because of my disciplinary, because my record in jail.
Right.
So I went in there. I'm coming home. I got 72 months.
Right.
They're like, so why you wilding? Why you was, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't. I mean, it was just. I guess it was part of growing up, man.
We get caught up.
We get caught up in the yard.
The culture.
Yeah.
It dictates to us how we should act, how we should behave. And when you look
crazy,
back,
huh?
when you look back, you see it was all foolishness. You don't know how many
man.
people hurt along the way.
Whole bunch of shit, man. It's true.
Yeah, our families.
Family, our loved ones, man, our kids.
Yeah.
If you don't have kids, your loved ones, your moms, your dad, whoever, man.
Yeah.
Even your own siblings. Because whether you believe it or not, everybody's affected when you go to jail.
That's right.
Everybody's
right.
affected.
That's right.
Don't matter if your blood is your blood, your sister, your brother. You're like, damn, he's not here. Like, he's in jail doing 25 years.
Yeah.
It's my brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it takes a toll on everybody.
Exactly.
You know, and all we, and sometimes instead of just, like you said, we get caught up part of the system, part of our upbringing, part of the culture of our upbringing, where we raised that. You know what I'm saying? So we thinking we gonna carry on the same way.
Yeah, it's cool.
I realize that all we doing is hurting our people.
Man, that's why I said that. Once I started educating myself, I said I want to leave prison as a fireman. I want to be equipped with all the skills, the tools, the education, and knowledge that I could acquire, so I could go out there and help put that fire out that I once started the last time I was out there. So the work I'm doing today, it speaks volumes to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I serve as executive director of the Families and Friends of the Wrongfully Convicted, Inc., and this organization, we help people impacted by wrongful convictions.
When you came home?
2012. I've been home 12 years now.
Okay, as soon as you got home, you got with
The next year, I ran into Derek Hamilton, who we know as Bush, and he asked me to come and help him with this. And I came aboard, and I helped him. I've been doing this with him ever since 2013.
Okay.
And to the present date, we got 26 exonerations. Now, we don't only help people. Blessing. Sometimes we get cases where we don't have enough evidence for exoneration.
Right.
So let's just say, for instance, maybe an individual, he's been in jail since he was 18 years old. He's been in jail like 25 to 30 years. So because of our, our integrity, the work that we do, our reputable, we go to the DA, whatever county, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, and we said, listen, we got a guy here. He's been in jail since he was 16, 17 years old. He's sentenced to 40 years, 60 years. Those are death sentences. We explain to them how the brain not working accurately at their age.
Absolutely.
The consequences, they don't really understand consequences. Here's a guy that's been doing good in jail. We actually take a look at his case and modify it based upon our record. And so we've been successful in that area. We got 5 modifications. A lot of time we work on other people getting clemencies. We petition to the governor for them to get clemencies. We have 3 people got clemency. So that's the work we do. We have a support system for families that have incarcerated loved ones.
Yes.
Particularly as women, the wives, the mothers,
those
the sisters. So, Derek Hamilton's wife, Nicole, she's instrumental in that.
Okay.
She runs a support group, and she shared with the women some of the things she was doing when her husband was in jail, to show them what they need to be doing and try to help her get their husbands out or their sons or whoever they may be.
Or he's also making it a bit better.
Right. So, that's the work we're doing right now because of our lived experience. I remember I got the call from Derek when Robert Brooks was brutally murdered on December 9th, right? So Derek had called me and also sent me a text with a video. And he said, Renny, take a look at this, and hung right up. And I looked at the video. I see them beating Robert Brooks, kicking him and all that, punching him. And I see Marcy on the wall. But it's not registering me.
Something that they usually, this is like a norm to us, you know that, right?
Yeah, that's a norm, right. So now, I called Derek back, and I said, Derek, did this happen in New York State? He said, yeah, Renny, you don't see, the guy was in Greens, you don't see the Marcy, and then it all come. I said, I did see it. I said, what? He told me, Renny, we got to do something. So that day, the next day, we just start gathering the truth. Mario Machete was involved with it too. We just telling all, formerly incarcerated people, yo, man, we all out here now.
Yeah.
This is our George Floyd movement. We got to do something about it.
Absolutely.
So we start gathering all the troops up, females that was in prison, and brothers that was in prison. And we had a town hall meeting. It was about 1,000 of us in that town hall meeting.
Wow.
And we talked to everybody. We told them what we were going to do. We wrote up some demands. We had an opportunity to speak with the governor's office. We went there with demands, and we outlined some of the demands to them. Like for one instance, we know a lot of time, a lot of violence in prison from prison guards, it happens on a 3 to 11 shift. So we told them we want an executive team to be there from now on. Also, we want prison guards who are accused of assaulting incarcerated people to not be able to go back to their posts.
Back to the same,
to their posts, because now we also told them
the problem continues.
We also told them that we would like for the AG, the Attorney General's office, to stop representing prison guards who individuals and incarcerated people file lawsuits against for assaulting them. Why? Because now the Attorney General had to come before us and tell us there's a conflict of interest. She can't prosecute the police officers at Robert Brooks because for them, she's her officer representing them. So we want that to stop. Yeah, we want that to stop. So we took some demands, some more demands. We told the governor's staff, if these demands are not met, by January 31st, we're shutting New York State down. Mind you, we got all the support. The brothers and sisters, they behind us. We start rallying, taking buses up to Albany, demanding justice for Robert Brooks, demanding justice for Robert Brooks, demanding justice. And then, lo and behold, they indict these guys. Me, Derek, and some other. We right in the courtroom. They bring them out one at a time. I hear the DA say the charge, murder in second degree. I clap. The court officer tells me, you got to be quiet. You know why I clap? Because when I hear murder in second degree, I know they either going to have a no bail or either a high bail, like they was done to me.
Right.
When I was arrested, they gave me no bail.
Yeah. Same charge.
All this thing was pre-planned. The judge asked the guy, what's your name? How old are you? Then they went decide about what the bail should be. So I heard the DA say 50,000. I yell out, 50,000? The court officer said, didn't I tell you to be quiet? Didn't I actually be quiet? So I ain't paying no attention, right? And then they adjust the bail, $250,000, where he could just put 10% up, $25,000. The judge says, there, bail's bond. The bail's bond is sitting right in the corner.
Wait.
Papers already filled out. They step up, say, yeah, you on him, the bail's bonds, man. Then he asked the guy, do you agree with that? The prison guard, he said, yes, sign a form, let him out. They brought in 4 more guys after him, same thing, same process. All of them, right? I couldn't take it no more. So Derek is asking me, when you gotta be cool. I said, nah, I gotta say something. This is injustice. I said, they don't do this
right
to
in front of us.
They don't do this to us.
Yeah.
I said, when I got arrested for murder in second degree, they didn't give me no bail. You know what I'm saying? I said, I wasn't indicted, then arrested. I was arrested, then indicted.
Right.
Right? Because that's what they did with it. They had to indict these prison guards first, then indict. They said they waiting for the autopsy report. They didn't have to wait for the autopsy report with me. They just arrested me.
That was done quick.
Right. So Derek is trying to contain me. I had to get up and leave. Couldn't take it no more.
You couldn't
Went out in the hallway. But when I went out in the hallway, outbursts. I just went off. And then people that start following me, chanting, I'm telling them about my situation. But the point I'm making, I remember when I was in prison, right? An older brother told me at this time, he said, everyone is entitled to a bail, regardless what the charge is, according to your livelihood. That came to me when I remember that. When I seen it, so the prison guards, they got their due. You know what makes it injustice? They don't apply that to people like you and I.
Nah, they don't do that.
That's the injustice.
That's it. Of course. We
get busted for robbery, anything, we got high bails.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because they know the likelihood. When they get us in jail, the likelihood of us going from jail to prison is high. Because when you in Rikers Island for a robbery and you going back in the court every month and nothing has happened, it's going to wear you down. You sit in the bullpen. And
eventually want to get rid of the case.
Right.
How much is it? 3 years?
Right.
Let me get that.
What we gonna cop out?
They got the felony.
Right. They're going to cop out.
They're going to cop out.
And they know that. Or either you're going to go to trial and you're going to get found guilty unjustly.
I ain't do this shit. I was like, man, I've been going to court for 3 years. I'm copping out.
You get frustrated.
I'm done.
Right.
And it bothered me.
Right.
I lived with this shit like, damn, I didn't do this shit, but fuck it.
What's the chance of these prison guards, they have not spent one day in jail? What's the chance of them going to prison now they home? They live upstate in these rural counties. They're going to be able to bump into their potential jurors.
Of course.
Them jurors are not going to find them guilty a year, 2 years from now.
Absolutely not.
You think the system is going to send all these white males to prison for killing a black male? We know what America, we in America. That just doesn't happen. So
we have to change the narrative.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We got to now that the case is there, we got to stay on their ass and on their toes.
And that's what we've been doing.
And knowing that we ain't going nowhere, and we seen it clearly that they did kill him.
Yeah. See the videotape, right? It shows what you and I have been talking about for years.
Shit that we knew.
Right, that they've been doing to us.
It's like our secret.
Right.
Ain't that some shit?
Right.
It's like our secret. You know German and Herbert?
Yeah, and Comstock, yeah.
They also killed brothers and got away with it.
No accountability.
Right?
Nothing happens to them. Nothing would have happened to these prison guards if the video wasn't there.
Absolutely.
Because once his father filed a lawsuit, the Attorney General's office would have represented him. Why? Because she represents the state. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why this process have to stop. This is injustice. That's why they get away, because there's no accountability. You see what I'm saying? See, now the prison guards go right back to their normal post after they done beat somebody up. They go back in prison. That's the culture. You think they're going to stop? How they killed 4 of the guards and Robert Brooks was accused of assaulting somebody else, right? And then they want to kill Robert Brooks. It don't stop. That's the culture.
It's the culture.
Yeah, same thing. They killed in 87 days after Robert Brooks got killed. They killed Messiah Newtwin, right, on March 1st. 87 days, 9 days after the 10 prison guards was indicted, and they killed him in mid-state, right across the street from Marcy.
Right across the street.
So
they probably know each other
that's
too.
That's what I'm saying. That's the culture.
That's
they
the
don't
culture.
care. They feel like nothing is going to happen because they've been doing it for so long and getting away with it. That's why we're out here, and we got to address these issues while we're out here. Right.
We have to.
We got to find ways to hold them accountable.
I was telling Derek as well. See, I love everything y'all doing. Y'all stand up for for what we supposed to been doing.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm happy that family and friends exist.
Yeah.
And I told them, these is very important for you guys to be out here doing that. And I definitely, like, you can count me in. That's why Dog in the Yard, this platform is designed, is created for us to have a voice.
Have a voice.
Because when we in jail, we don't got
Appreciate
a voice.
That's right. Appreciate
we don't have a voice. You can do 10, 20 years, 30 years, 5 years, 1 year. You ain't got no voice.
Yeah.
This is the voice. This is us.
Yeah.
So I also told them all to create like a commercial, anything to put the information more out there on what you guys are doing, so that then I can place it on my Dog in the Yard, and I usually you get sponsors and stuff like that. It's none of that. This is our platform. You don't have to pay shit.
Gotcha.
We're gonna put your information on my website. It has over 4 million views, and we're gonna let the world know about family and friends, for those that don't know about family and friends. And they might need help. You might have a cousin or brother that's in jail that's wrongfully convicted. That might need our help. You know what I'm saying? So anything I could do to help what you guys are doing.
Appreciate you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna definitely.
We appreciate what you're doing too. Tomorrow we're having a town hall meeting in Brooklyn, and we're gonna address some of these issues, that I just discussed.
What time?
At 12 o'clock, 12 p.m.
I'll be here tomorrow.
Flyer. It's from 12 to 4, but you always supportive. You're doing a good work. You know what I'm saying? From 12 to 4, we're gonna bring the community together again, and just try to work on our minds.
I just want you to know that this platform is ours. It's not just pistols. It's ours. This is our stuff. This is where we able to come and bring our information to the public. You know what I'm saying? And I want you to know that I'm here.
Appreciate it.
I mean, I could be here, but I'm with y'all.
That's right.
Dog in the Yard.
That's right.
Dog in the Yard is here.
You support what we're doing.
Absolutely.
We support what you're doing. We're collaborating.
That's right. So when you got shit going on, new information that you want to apply for the public, for those out there that need it, you can come back up here and get it done.
That's God, brother.
You know what I'm saying? That's the way we moving. We moving as a team. The way we supposed to been move. Unite. Unite. You know what I'm saying? Use because we got it. We just got to move. We got to move the way we're moving now. And it took us long. It took us a long time, because it took me a long time too to get my shit together.
That's what
it took you 17 years to get this. So I believe it. I get it.
Right.
But you know what? It's not too late. We're here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's just try to help. So like that. My thing is, I'm trying to help these brothers, man, that's out here before they even get into a jam, so they could look at how real this could really be for you. You know what I'm saying? Like a wrong choice of you pulling that trigger or stabbing somebody out of impulse. How deeply it could ruin your life forever. It's over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's my goal. My goal was to bring lightnings and awareness to these young brothers out here. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we was there at one point too.
Exactly. Took some time. Yeah, take time. Sometimes rock bottom take longer for some of us to hit. But once you hit rock bottom, you can't go no further. Yeah. So you gotta come to that point. You say enough is enough. I need some help. And that's when you go trying to get the help that you need. And that's very important. So.
No, I love what y'all doing, man. Like I usually ask prison reform, what you believe in. You doing the work.
Yeah.
Prison reform is it's needed.
Yeah.
We just got to put that work in.
Yeah.
We know it's needed, and it's been needed. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? like the word reform, I don't like to use it no more. We got to change.
Yeah, we got to
reform
change.
is like putting a Band-Aid on it. Like during the Attica Rebellion, there was a lot of reforms made.
Okay.
But see how everything that's come right back to existence like it was now, like maybe even a Rosa.
Yes.
That's why we got to change it from the top down. We got to change it, complete it. Because it's a culture, brutality, it's a culture. Like, it don't make a difference if the prison guard is black or white, right? You know what make it racism? The victim is always Hispanic or black. So it's a culture. You know, that them upstate prisons, you know, them prison guards indifference to us. You know, we coming inside these prisons, they never see blacks and Hispanics in their life, so we there. So all they do is take out their frustration, their anger out on us, right? Solely because they hate us, right?
Right.
Solely because of how we look, you know, color of our skin. We
we
can't
talk.
change that.
Yeah,
you know what we could do? It's a culture. We can't change. You know what we could do is hold them accountable.
Right, okay.
We got to look for ways to hold these people accountable. Like what we want to do is we want to close Marcy and Mid-State down, right? Closing Marcy and Mid-State down will affect the entire community, right? The whole community suffer. Why? Because we know that these communities strive off of us coming to prison.
Absolutely.
All these upstate communities. So these prison guards know that when they step out of line and they do something to one of us,
they're gonna be
and
accountable.
the result is the whole community suffers from that.
Absolutely.
Hold them in check. See what I'm saying? Now, with the criminal legal system, I really don't expect much out of them really going to prison. I don't see it. If they go, God be the glory, but I've seen numerous incidents when, you know, they done did something to blacks in this country, they have video cameras, and still no justice, right?
Yeah, he did.
So we got to look for other ways,
Shit gets
man,
shaded away somehow. I don't know what the fuck.
We got to look for other ways to hold these people accountable, hold them in check. So when they get out, step out of line, this was
I know one thing. The number one way to do that is by being present, and we doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You guys are really, y'all making that effort. You know what I mean? You there, you present. You know, when you there, you got somebody speaking up, they got to be careful how they want to move now, because we here now. We not in jail no more.
That's the point we was making.
We got a voice now.
That's the point. We home now, and we could do a lot.
Absolutely.
Derek and I and others were arrested for protesting, right? They put us in handcuffs, marched us up, paraded us up the escalator, out in the streets, into some police cars. The world seen us as criminals, right? For petty offense, for protesting, right?
Yeah.
Here it is, you had them prison guards who was on videotape beating and kicking and killing Robert Brooks, and they ain't even arrest him.
I know, they let them out. It's 80-something days.
You see what I'm saying? They ain't even arrest them.
Almost 90 days.
Put us in handcuffs, parade us through the street like criminals. See, that's how the system, the one thing about the system, it's set up to see blacks and Hispanics as criminals. They're not used to seeing us as victims. So that's why they always do stuff. That's why justice dragged his feet slowly with Robert Brooks.
Absolutely.
They told us we need the autopsy report to confirm how he was killed before we could arrest these guys. Do they tell us that?
Fuck no.
Okay. That's what I'm
Put
saying.
the handcuffs on us and take us to the
That's what I'm
prison.
saying.
That's it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's over.
That's what I'm saying. So that's justice for them, and it's injustice for us.
Absolutely.
You know, that's what injustice comes in at. You know, and that's what we want. You know, we address that. We speak to that. We want people to see, because we've been speaking about these things for years when we was in prison about this brutality. But when we reached over the wall, nobody was really buying into it. Unfortunately, and sadly for Robert Brooks, he had to lose his life for the world to see what goes on really behind prison walls.
And that upstate New York.
Right. New York.
That happens upstate New York all over.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
All over. I
Right.
don't care. They can put all that shit happens everywhere.
That's right.
And shit. They do it as soon as you get on transfer. As soon as you get to a facility, they put your head on the wall and abuse you for no reason, just for arriving at the new jail.
Trying to frighten you.
You go to a lot of these jails, these prisons, penitentiaries, and put on the wall, stop, on the wall.
Yeah.
You know, open on the wall, spread your legs, shit like a spider, and all. You like, but damn, this is what.
Try to plan fair, and you see when you come in here. You see this right here? You see this right here? You could do anything that is green, but this right here, this blue, you don't touch this blue. Yeah, it's plan fair. So some of us, we lock that in our minds because we fearful already. We say, okay, I'm not gonna do nothing, no prison guards. I'm only gonna take out everything on the greens. Guys like me.
Yeah.
You know, some of us lock that in our minds.
Of course.
So, some of us
you know, I'd rather just get this, you know, and that's exactly what happens. You know, 'cause they feel like they put the fear on some of us so deeply that we ain't touching the police. Shit.
No
and they
doubt.
get fussed, something happened, this, that, they take it on the green.
Right, take it out on green. Take their frustration ain't right. That's what most.
What was other few things that you did while you was incarcerated? You know,
Well, I took the time out. Like I said, once that light went off, I got involved with all kind of therapeutic programs. I even went to school, and you know, I just brushed up. You know, tighten up on my writing. You know,
absolutely.
Tighten up. You know, the way I think, because that was important. You know, and I just started, you know, just doing everything right. And, you know, I felt good. And I realized that what I had, you know, God used me as a tow truck to go back on that highway and get all those other brothers that I left stranded. So I would go back. Once I graduated from certain programs, I went back as a facilitator and I help other brothers.
That's what's
taught them how to write, taught them how to do speeches, you know what I'm saying? Taught them how to conduct themselves. And I remember, right, when I was graduating from college and we had a festival, and my granddaughter was sitting on my knee, and they yelled on a loudspeaker, "The visitors are over with." My granddaughter jumped up. She said, "Granddaddy, come home with us. You finished school." It's hard for me to shed a tear. I turned my face and shed a tear. You know why? The same lie that was told to my daughter about where I was at was now being told to my granddaughter about where I'm at. See, that's what wrongful conviction does to families. It damages us. I was in prison for something I ain't do, and here it is, my granddaughter believing I'm in college. My daughter was ashamed to tell her where her grandfather was at. You know what I'm saying? So in that moment, man, you know, you reflect.
That shit all affected,
yeah.
mentally.
Yeah, so the same lie that my daughter mother told her, my daughter was now telling her
had to
daughter.
repeat the whole
so
shit.
we got to break them cycles.
Yeah, we got to break them.
We got to break them cycles. You see what I'm saying? So that's why me educating myself and you know, and just making myself into a better person, it became more meaningful to me. You know, and today, I try to make sure that no other kid ends up like me.
Absolutely.
You know, I go to Rikers Island, you know, I talk to the youth, you know, I tell them about consequences and act like you just spoke about. I used to facilitate that. I used to tell them, you know, like, I said, yo, when you commit a crime, I said that person that you took that $300 from, I used to give him examples. That $300 could have went to buy his daughter a bike, a cake or something. But because of your selfish, reckless behavior, you deprived that whole entire family. I said, if you assaulted the man, he was the breadwinner of this family, he can't go to work tomorrow because of you now.
Yeah.
I said, what about society? I said, society is going to say, remember that man got robbed down the block? I'm not walking down that block. Because why? They think you're still down there hurting and robbing people, right? And I tell them, I said, what about your family? Because once you get arrested, your family, now they got to come out to their house and hold their head down in shame and embarrassed solely because they're connected to you. That's the effects of crime.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I explained it to them young guys, and I asked them, how many of y'all ain't got a GED? Majority of everybody in the room raised their hand. I said, don't you know statistics shows that a large percent of people in jail don't have no education, no GED?
Yeah.
That's why so many of y'all in here.
In here, yeah, no education.
I was sitting in them chairs too, no education. I said, you got to get your education.
Gotta get it.
Yeah, and I asked them, how many of y'all in here are fathers? A few raised their hand. I said, how do you feel right now with you not being there with your children? You know, I try to get them to thinking because nobody came to talk to me like that.
Nobody came to talk to me.
Yeah, so I tell them
I do the same
you know?
thing.
Yeah.
I be going to Rikers Island too. I go to the Beacon.
Go to high schools.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, Derek and I, we just went to St. John University and spoke to college students because they the future. And we told them about what injustice looks like and don't be afraid to stand up and confront it.
Absolutely.
Because you're going to be the future. And we spoke to them, we
got to change the narrative.
Yeah, and we left them with an impression, and some young females, young males in there, and we just hope that you have the courage to do right, because you're gonna be lawyers, you're gonna be prosecutors, you're gonna be police officers, or whatever it may be, because they're going after criminal law, degrees. So unless they go a little further, and we told them. And when I walked out the door, I said, can I have your word that y'all going to stand against injustice? And they all say, yeah. So that's great. So that's the work we do. We just don't want other kids.
You want, at least you plant the seed.
Yeah,
that's great though. You was able to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they ain't gonna forget.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna forget. They in there like remembering everything that you guys told them.
See, you know what the work today is about empowering and uplifting our community.
That's what it's about.
Pete, we live that other lifestyle. We know what that's like.
Yep.
We know what that produce. We know, that's the destructive.
We know what that brings.
Yeah, so we know what it brings. It brings hardship.
Facts.
People hurt, right? So I don't want to live that life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I just want to
That's
continue
right,
the
me either.
remaining years of my life. I just want to continue doing what's right, helping people in any way I can. You know what I'm saying? I want to be seen as that.
We want to keep spreading the blessings.
Right. So when I'm gone,
'Cause
I
God
want
blessed
people to
us.
say, right, God, yeah, every day we wake up, God bless us. Yeah.
With
Every
the
day.
knowledge, with everything that we have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
that's what I want to be remembered as. Is someone that my good outweighs my bad.
Facts.
That's what I want to be remembered. Yes, this who Renny looked like yesterday, but this who Renny was today.
This is how he went. This is how Renny went.
Right, yeah. And now I got grandkids.
Absolutely.
So I got to set positive examples.
Facts.
Here's a prime example. I remember I was taking my grandkids to the Barclays Center to see a show. And there's a pizza shop on Fulton Street. You could order pizza and then eat it, and then you pay for it. We sitting there drinking and eating the pizzas, and I walks out the door with my grandkids. I get to the corner, it dawned on me I ain't paid. I said, come on, let's go back. We go back. I tell him, man, I said, listen, man, me and my grandkids was just in here. We ordered some pizzas and some sodas. How much is that tab? He told me I paid it. So when we get outside, my grandkids said, Granddaddy, we was at the corner. Why you come back? I said, because we ordered the stuff. We got to pay for it. And I said, listen to me. I told him, I said, a man may not get all that he pays for in this world, but he surely must pay for all that he get. I said, I owe that man, and I had to pay him. Because I don't want them to think that I'm trying to get away, because that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
When you get away, when you do something wrong and you get away, the worst thing could happen is you get away with it. Why? Because you tell yourself, I could do this.
I could do it again.
Yeah. So
That right there showed them that you morals and principles,
right.
first and foremost, and hey, this is how you really supposed to do it.
That's right. Don't take nothing. I'll give an example. When you go to your cousin's house, you spend the night, and you wake up, your money gone. How do you feel? Do you like it? No. The same way when you take something from somebody, they don't like it. So I try to set positive examples.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Renny, what one of the worst things you've seen in prison?
I mean, one of the worst things I seen in prison
That you
when I was in
remember, you'd be like,
Auburn.
you can share that for a young brother out there that think that jail is sweet.
I'm gonna give you an example. Auburn. I was in Auburn, and I forgot the guy's name, but he was a CBS killer, right? He was in prison, I should say, accused of the CBS killer, right? And there was this dude that was pressing him. You know what that is?
Yeah.
The white guy was in charge of the vegetables inside of the mess hall. So he was entitled to get a knife because he used to cut the vegetables up. The black guy, the brother went to him and told him, yo, I want X, Y, and Z from now on from what you're getting. Because the white guy used to sell, I was his hustler, he used to sell vegetables for a pack, whatever. So black guy told him he went in. The white guy rocked him to sleep. Black guy not thinking. The white guy told him, because in the mess hall, you get up early in the morning, you got to go and, prepare for the breakfast and all that. And he told him, yo, no problem, man, just come to the mess hall early in the morning. And then he brings the guy in the vegetable room. Soon he opens the door, let the guy in, the guy walks in past him. He hits him in the head with the brown meat thing, the grinder, the thing.
Yeah, that little hacker hammer.
Knocks him out. And took the knife and was severing his head off. Only thing left was the spinal cord, right? You could hear the guy feet kicking on the door, because I guess his head was facing his feet, you could hear him. And when they opened the door, man, it was, I was like, wow. I was like, whoa. Right?
Movie scene.
I couldn't believe it. And the guy comes out, he full of blood, he walking with the knife, people backing away from him, so we don't know what's going on. We just see the blood until he walks where he's going. He goes right to the police booth, turn the knife. The police even jumped. They see all the blood, see the knife even jump. He turned the knife on, and then we looked in the room. I said, oh, wow. That was the worstest thing I ever seen. And the white guy made a statement when he got to the box or whatever. He said he wanted to cut the black guy's head off and walk around the yard with it so all the blacks could see it. I was like, wow.
So he was on some other shit anyway.
Yeah.
Like
That's one of the
worstest.
worstest.
His mental was fucked up.
Yeah, that's
too.
one of the worstest things that I can remember. I seen a lot of stuff in prison, right? But that was, that when they took the
that's-
because I seen it. I actually seen the
That's
body.
horrible right there,
yeah, that
man.
was horrible, right? And
What facility was that?
that was in Auburn.
Auburn.
Yeah, it was Auburn.
I was in Auburn before.
Another racist facility. So
Yeah, another racist.
that was a race. All of them really racist, but that was one of the worstest thing I seen in prison. That incident right there. You know what I'm saying? I tell stories to people. So, but when I used to tell people the stories, I was still in the world of the dead at the time. The world of the dead meaning I was still dead minded, still doing negative stuff. So I was only telling people to try to pull their coat. Don't let nobody meet you nowhere. Don't
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull their coat.
Be focused and
Right.
shit.
Yeah, I was only telling people that because I learned from that experience, right? But looking back, man, it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a life, and that's what happened when you result to them lifestyles, man. And you get so glued in it, man, and you just continue to go on. And look, unfortunately, he came to prison. He was sentenced to prison, but his sentence turned into a death sentence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so
That's for sure.
yeah, so that's sad.
But you could be quite sure about one thing. He probably didn't get beat up, though. That would have been a black man or a Spanish guy. You
well.
already know the vibe.
Sadly, right? It's sad, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
sadly, but it's the truth.
You're right. Yeah,
You know what I'm
it's the
saying?
truth. Yeah, it's the truth. Hell yeah, it's the truth.
Like, you kidding me? They would have beat our ass.
Yeah, sadly, you're right.
Shit, we'd have been in the fucking bed for 3 days without eating.
You're right. You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right, Pete. You're right.
Yeah, man. But I want to appreciate you coming, my brother, man. You know what I'm saying? I love what you guys are doing, man.
Thank you. Love what you're doing too.
You know what I'm saying? I want you to know, like I told you before, this platform is here for you guys. Anytime you guys want to utilize it, you're more than welcome to come back. Promote anything you got going, anything we need to get done to get out to the public. Let's get it done. You can always anything. Shoot me a video. We incorporated with my episodes in between as a commercial, and we put it on. We put it up on my YouTube channel, and we get to help even more lives out there. Those that really need it.
Yeah, no
You know what I'm
doubt.
saying?
But we're here. We're working together. Like I said, we collaborating. You know what I'm saying? You on this front, we on the front. So we
That's
doing
what
the
it is.
same
Family
work,
and friends, man.
Family and friends of the wrongfully convicted, Pete.
There you go.
That's right.
Appreciate you, brothers, man.
Appreciate you too.
And you already know it's your boy Pistol Pete, dog in the yard. Renny.
Shout out, Mr. Pete, dog in the yard.
Appreciate you, man. You already
All
know. What up, It's your boy Pistol Pete. Welcome back to Dog in the Yard. I want to first and foremost thank Renny for coming through from the Family and Friends, Wrongly Convicted. Renny has over 25 years, as you can see. He's out here doing greatness. They have helped out over 26 cases. And listen, man, it's a blessing to have brothers like that out here in the street, doing greatness, because we need it. I will be definitely getting in contact with them, working with them. So we definitely going to be pushing a lot of new information through my platform. And with that being said, man, you already know, I want to thank the whole team, family and friends, and the Wrongly Convicted, all you guys. And
You had it, man. You had it. Don't get discouraged.
it's just kind of weird. But all right, what up? You already know it's your boy Pistol Pete. Welcome back to Dog in the Yard. First and foremost, I want to thank Renny for coming through. Brother, you are a blessing to a lot of people. Your 25 years of experience. I mean, you're the director of Family and Friends, Wrongly Convicted. I mean, you out here doing greatness. You have saved over 26 people, 26 lives. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you and your team. All I can say is, man, continue the great work, man, and we're here to support you in any kind of way we can. You already know, it's your boy Pistol Pete, Dog in the Yard.